Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm a sewing specialist here at Fons & Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the basic block that makes up the quilt night and day. If you'd like to purchase this pattern, please visit our website. We're going to be using 2.5-inch strips of black on black prints, and we're going to match it up with a cream color background, which makes this lovely quilt behind me 4 very large stars in this quilt, and all made of triangle squares. So there is an easy way to cut from 2.5-inch strips that we can create all of our triangle squares that you see here, because it takes a lot of cutting in order to get to the sewing. So we want to use that 2.5-inch strip as efficiently as possible. Now, from each of the black strips, you're going to be cutting a quantity that your pattern will tell you how many from each strip to cut. From the cream color, you're also going to be cutting 2.5-inch strips. My demonstration for cutting is going to be on the cream, so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing with the ruler, just for contrast. So they're cut in the exact same manner. We're going to be using the Fons & Porter 1/2 and 1/4 ruler, and it's set up for us to cut triangles off of strips. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the yellow end here. There's a black here, but we're going to be using this yellow triangle here. And it is then easily placed. It has a mark for the width of the strip down one side. So we're going to go to the 2.5, which is what we've cut our strip. A yellow line will then follow along one side of the strip. This little yellow triangle will hang off the top if it's properly placed. So you want to make sure that you do slide that along so that that extends off of the strip. It's kind of creating an engineered corner, and it will be to our advantage here in a minute. So we're going to be cutting along one side. Now I'm cutting down through 2 layers at once so that I can cut two triangles at the same time. I'm going to turn this over because I need to take away the selvage edge here. I've overcut it just a bit. Again, I'm going to make sure I place that properly. 2.5-inch mark there, the triangle extending on this first one. So there's my waist, and I've got my first few light triangles. Now I don't need to reposition the strip. I can just go back and forth with the ruler and position, again, the 2.5-inch strip, the triangle extending, cut again, and then just rotate the ruler back and forth so that I can go all the way down the strip and cut the required number of pieces that I need for this quilt top. And like I said, in the same manner you would do it on the black, on each of the black strips, but if I put the ruler on the black, you can't see the lines. So here, they'll show up for you because they're highlighted in yellow. It's just the video would not be able to pick it up. So we've got a variety of the cream color triangles. I also have some already pre-cut of the black. And what we're going to do is then, this is very traditional kind of piecing. We're going to be matching up a black triangle with one of the cream color. Now, since this is a cream color, if you're going to use a pattern cream, it's great because you'll be able to tell the right from the wrong. And this one, I do have to kind of back and forth to make sure I have the right side of the fabric up. I'm going to put right sides together, and you can see how that triangles match up. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you get a tip off the end, but you can position the long edge here, and then we're going to take it over to the sewing machine and use a 1/4-inch seam to join our pieces together. And what you could do is sit down with a stack of cream and a stack of black and then chain piece and put one after the other through your machine. So you can piece a lot of these very quickly. Using the 1/2 and 1/4 ruler and string chain piecing will pick up the pace of creating these block pieces or subunits really quickly. Okay, let me grab a scissors here. Using a spider as an end so that we don't have ragged edges at the beginning. Trim our threads, and you'll see we created that triangle square quite quickly. Now what I want to do then is take it to the ironing board. If you've done string piecing or you've chain pieced a bunch of these together, now you can sit and iron down through the stack, creating a whole collection of the triangle squares, making sure you open them all the way to the seam line and get a good press on those. And then you can come back and you can take off a little dog ear, triangle, and make nice blocks like that. So once you get done doing that, now is to create this shape, which makes it a little bit of a challenge, but not really. Here we go. We'll have some extra pieces that we're going to be incorporating. So following your diagram, and I'm going to use this as if it were my diagram, I'm going to just then place my squares into rows, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3 across the bottom, but I need a fourth piece to create this triangle here. So a fourth one is going to get slid in. If I take these out, maybe slide everything over so we can see really well. And I'm going to create a row out of those pieces. The next one, make sure you place everything properly, then has only 2 completed triangle squares and then a half. And the last one is with a triangle square, is just 1 there. Let's see if we can find a little variety here. And then the top one is just a triangle square, like this. So you're going to be creating a large portion, quite a few of these shapes. So you're going to join into rows, each of the short rows and the one on the top. So I've got things in steps here. Let me slide this off. So here we go. I have pieces already joined together and pressed. So I pressed seam allowances all going in one direction there, opposite direction here, back and forth, so that when I join rows, I'll have opposing seams between and then the last at the top. So then just join rows like you do kind of in a 9 patch and put the last one at the very top, and you've got that triangle shape created. And I have one completed. So let's bring that one in, just like that. We'll take these out. Now that's only half of the block. We need the light side. So the light side is created when you take a large triangle, follow the instructions in your pattern, and you cut diagonally across the block. Now, if you're worried about, because you're going to be having bias edge, that diagonal is it can be stretchy. Before you cut out your blocks, if you use spray starch or a sizing, that will ensure that that block has a little more stability to it. Then when you cut across the block, that edge will have less stretch and you'll have a nicer finished product. So you can then right sides together and then join those two. I would sew with this on the top so that I can see my intersections where I want to hit to get my points and my block. And once you press it open, and the seam allowances are going to want to be pressed toward the light side, you'll have your block created for night and day. Now, there's one other block that you need, and it is a little bit smaller light square, and I'll point that out to you in just a moment. But this block, then, is used just by positioning the block. It's just twisted and turned to create the large stars that you see in this quilt. The outside edge, we've got a sawtooth border. It's just the triangle squares put into a chain, creating an inner border. So if you'd like to create your version of night and day, have a little fun with 2 colors. If you'd like to see more of our video tutorials, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.